Okay, everybody, welcome. We're so excited that you're here. Welcome to Monday Night Live. I'm Michelle Stuchel, Sapphire Ambassador, and I have the amazing privilege of interviewing Angela Patteson, Fast Start Ruby Ambassador, who is completely exploding and crushing every goal, and her team is exploding. And just to give you an idea, her team is in such full-blown momentum that out of the blue, corporate called her and asked her to do a team huddle. And so she'll be on a corporate call on August 3rd. And I could not be any more proud of you, Angela. And I'm getting choked up and teary. I'm just so thankful and humbled that God would bring you to our team. And let's start. So Angela, tell us, when did you first hear about Plexus?
Well, first I want to say thank you so much. I love you so much. So actually I first heard about Plexus years ago from good friends of mine. I was doing something else at the time, so I really didn't look into it. And so I didn't think much else about it. I heard it was gut health and didn't think I needed it at the time. And now I could kick myself over that, but anyway. And then recently, my dear friend Deirdre told me about it again. So
that's awesome. Okay, so when did you first start, and did you start for the business?
No. I first started, actually it was the very, very end of February. Actually, at the time, it was like the $1 deal like we have going on right now. And I jumped in the very last, I remember it was like 11 p.m. And I was like excited to get my pack to get started, feeling good. Said, I'm not doing the business. Don't even, I'm not doing that. And then it was the end of the next month when I actually, wait a minute, I'm trying to make sure I don't get ahead of myself. That I started thinking about the business. I didn't like rank up or anything until the end of the next month, but it was basically March that I started using the product.
That's awesome. Okay, so tell me, you said it was the next month that you got your first rank. What made you want to go silver? Tell me about that process.
I remember getting on a 3-way call with you actually and being like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing this. But I was intrigued by the almost $400 cash and getting my products covered. Of course, nobody would not like that, right? But I still was not sure. I was just like a lot of people say, kind of like, I'll get my own story. We'll see. I don't really want to do the business right now. But I just basically, I don't know what happened. I think what happened was I accidentally started just sharing with some people that knew some things going on with me. And it was like my mother-in-law and another person. Next thing I know, they wanted a video. So I found myself just like talking about it a little bit, And then after that, I started thinking more about, I've got 2 people wanting to do this. Maybe I'll just go ahead and get that $400, or at the time it was like $370. So that's kind of how it started, but it was still like, I'm not sure about this. And like I said, I prayed about it. And then next thing I know, I had 3 people. And I hadn't even posted a thing on Facebook or nothing. And so I was like, awesome, I'm going to get some money to get my products paid for.
Okay, that's awesome. I love that. Now, tell me, after you went silver and you had your 3 people, how did your mindset about the business change? Did anything change?
I think it slightly changed with the 400 silver mark. I still wasn't sure what was happening. And actually, it was only a week and a half. It was the very end of my first 30 days that happened. And I still had another like week. And I think it was Deirdre or you, because I was in a chat with both of you, were planting seeds and casting vision. And I was like, because you were like, well, you only need this many more. And then the next thing I know, what I did was I put a post in my story on Facebook, only in my story, of like me holding a pink drink. And that was it. And I just thought, we'll see what happens. And I put some bullet points on there, like things that it does for you. And I had 10 to 12 people in my inbox in a couple days. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So I prayed about it. And then my mindset started changing. So once I hit that senior silver, and it was like what I did was I said, God, I don't know what is going on, but Lord, if this is you, bring some people in, show me that this is you. And it happened like that. And that was when I started getting very like, oh my gosh, what's happening, And I started really being excited. And that was when, and also that was also the same time where I was getting more results myself and getting more and more belief. So
Yeah.
my mindset, it was really more closer to senior silver, but that was a week and a half apart.
A week and a half apart. Okay. So a
Sorry.
week and a half apart. Now let's talk about this a little bit because you had some previous MLM experience. Let's talk about that a little bit because I know you, I know your story, and everything that you've gone through has kind of brought you to this point. And we know that this isn't just a post and pray kind of business. So let's talk about how you got to this point because things went very quickly for you,
Right.
but you've spent time building influence. So how has this experience been different so far? And how has that prepared you for where you are now?
Okay. Yes. So let me say that. So, I mean, 5 years ago, I would have been totally, everything on Facebook was different. I did not have the following, or 5 to 7 years ago, I did not have the following I have now. So I built my following up a lot. I have a lot of friends on Facebook. And so all the network marketing businesses, for those that this is your chapter 1, this is my chapter like 15 or whatever, as far as network marketing, building a network. And so I have spent years and years gaining friends and building my network and actually learning a lot of what not to do, to be honest. A lot of the companies I spammed y'all, you would laugh. I was sending messages that were ridiculous, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I sent that to people because there was no connection and no relationships and just spam, posting my link all the time. But I learned through all of the wrong and not doing it right. I still gained a lot of great friends. And the Lord taught me a lot through it. And I learned a lot of training and what not to do, like I said. And then I learned some good things too. I learned how to build curiosity. I learned about branding myself. And that became the big theme in the last like 2 years, branding myself. Who am I? What am I called to do? I'm a mom. I'm a mom of 5 boys. I'm into fitness and health. And I'm a worship leader. Like these were part of my brand. So I started putting that into my social media, and I also wanted to connect with people, really build relationships, praying for people, reaching out to them. And I'm telling you, I began to see a change happen, and that is the backdrop of this. So I have like a lot of connections, a lot of relationships, a lot of people I really do care about, and I know they care about me. And so I've got that going on. In the last few years, hadn't done as much, have been burnt out on network marketing. And then right at the right time, the right company, the right product, the right people, at the right time, right? So I started posting and people wanted to know because they know, I mean, and I don't want to say this in any kind of way except for the Lord, because of his grace and goodness and helping me, I've been able to connect with people so they know who I am. They know what I'm about. And I think that I like to believe that they know enough about me to know they can trust and want to follow me. You know what I'm saying? So I took time to do that. I took time to be able to do those things. And that has benefited me so much in this. But this is so much different because I have so much more belief in the products, more belief in the culture, more belief in the company. I didn't have the belief in the business side of these other businesses like I do here. At this early on, especially. And I definitely didn't have the belief in the culture, the team, and all that. So that has already been amazing and different. And so anyway, that's where it's different. And that's where I feel like some of those things I've learned have helped me in this chapter. I hope that answered good enough.
Oh, it does completely. I just want to highlight. So what you're saying is you learned the skill of branding and you made a lot of mistakes. This is a skill to be learned. This isn't just like Angela has this halo all over her and she breathes and people join her. No, you
Oh,
learned
no.
the skill of adding value to people. You found out, you discovered who you are, what you're passionate about, and you started living out of that passion, adding value to people, and that's gained you influence. And through that influence, by adding value to people on your social media wall, adding, not just asking for things from people, it has gained you influence with them. And that influence, it was a skill to be developed. And that is what has allowed you to be such an amazing recruiter so quickly. I love that. Okay, what I didn't ask you before, will you tell us the timeline of when you hit each rank?
Yes, I wrote it down. So, so the end of March, I hit the silver, senior silver, and then April was gold. By the end of April, by the end of May was senior gold. By the end of June was ruby.
And those are all fast starts. Okay. Fast start, fast start,
Yes.
fast start. And she is not stopping here. I'm so excited for you, Angela. Okay. So talk to me about, I mean, you're a recruiting machine. You're regularly in the double digits each month. Talk to me about how you recruit. Do you lead with the products or the business or both?
I'll say this, I always used to only lead with products in other companies. Like that was my main thing. And so I did start that way. Now I'm leading with both more. And then even with some people, I've actually been stepping out and leading with the business a lot more. So now it's balanced out and even going more for the business, but it didn't start that way.
Yeah, I love that. And you know, Brittany and Christina say this all the time. You could ask 10 different diamonds and it'll be even split 5 and 5 on both sides. There's not a right way or a wrong way, but you have to talk about the business at some point. And if you're on this call, if you were in the IPA chat, I posted one of Angela's messages that she forwarded to me about how she led with the business, and you could hear it in her voice that she is just as excited about the opportunity. Talk to me about that. You are so on fire about the opportunity. Why? Tell me why you're so on fire about this opportunity.
Well, I'm going to start with the first thing that I think made me feel that fire was I I had this permission given to me and from the Lord. I felt that green light, and this is even before the belief was fully there. I had this green light from the Lord to go for it, and I felt like He said, "I give you permission to dream again," and that unlocked something in me because I just felt so excited. Like, and at first I was kind of like, "Wait a minute, what?" And there's been this thing that the Lord put in my heart a while back for my husband, and I'm dreaming big. I have big dreams, y'all. I have dreams to see us do more ministry stuff together. And there's things for my husband that I'd like him to be able to not be stressed in the particular thing that he's been doing. He's a hard worker and a great provider, but like he would love it if he had freedom to do more ministry and we could do more stuff together. And when the Lord lit that fire in me, I just ran with it. And then on top of that, the incredible belief I have in these products. I've seen so many amazing testimonies, my own self, my own friends, my own family, to the level that it's just been like, oh my goodness, everybody needs to know about this. Everybody needs to be doing this. And then seeing what the company does, the incentives, the rewards, I mean, goodness gracious, blessed to be a blessing. It sure is that. And I feel like just the more I've learned, and even the team culture, love being around you, Michelle and Deirdre, and the others that we just got to meet. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I'm stepping into who I'm called to be. I feel like you know what I'm saying? I feel like there's no ceiling. There is literally no ceiling, y'all. We can do this. You can dream. You can go after whatever. You can put your mind on it and you can go for it. We have all the tools here. We have everything we need here. We have the amazing products that are literally changing lives. We have the best company with the best customer service, with the best comp plan. And like that just gonna have to light your fire, if nothing else. But you put that on fire even more when you give it to Jesus and He says, go for it. Go ahead and dream. And that was a long explanation, but that's what got me dreaming. That's what got me all fueled up and excited. And I mean, I'm just feeling like the heat right now, but I'm just so excited. I'm so excited because I really see, this is the thing, y'all, and you need to do this. I see myself being able to get it. I think before I had blocked my mind. I had felt like, I don't know if I can reach for the top. And I'll be honest, as a worship pastor and having a heart for the Lord and the kingdom and wanting to build the kingdom. Have you ever done this? If you're in this situation, I'd feel like, should I even want to wish to be at the top of the company? And I limited that. But the Lord is saying, no, go for it. So that made me more excited to go for it too. Knowing that it is awesome and that we can do that. And it's nothing wrong with going all out, you know? But I don't see you, Deirdre. Michelle.
Oh, you don't?
Hopefully.
Okay, what about now?
I just hope that I was coming through.
No, you got it, girl. You've got it coming through. I'm on fire over here, tears of joy. Because my greatest passion and the reason I do this is to see the dreams of other people come to fruition. So tell me this. So you had dreamed before and it didn't work, but it's not limiting you now, is it?
Mm-mm.
I remember that day that you messaged us crying, I'm starting to dream again. I'm starting to dream again. Okay.
Yes.
So you can recruit and you're leading with, whew, I just looked at Brittany. I can't look at her either.
I love you so much.
You're recruiting
Oh,
Jean because I'm living out of my purpose. And this is what it's about. Okay. Okay. You've been in the running for Silver Stars 2 months in a row. So you are not just a recruiting machine, you are a duplication machine. So you have created several silvers both months. Okay, listen, people, she's not just creating 1 or 2 silvers. I'm talking about 3, 4, and 5 silvers a month. What are you doing to develop all these silvers?
well, first, I feel like I've talked to you and Deirdre a lot because at first, to be honest, I was just, I was recruiting for myself. I was just recruiting and like not thinking business builders. And honestly, you were like, what'd you encourage me? It was either you or Deirdre encouraged me and just said, they're casting vision. And at first I was thinking, well, how do I do that? What do you mean? But like, as you were doing it, honestly, I would feel like it was caught. And anybody can get this and point into the tools we have, right? We have videos on this stuff. And I think you sent me a video y'all did with Brittany and Christina, and I did watch the video and I just started asking the Lord to help me with it too. But I think it just began to happen from seeing it and hearing it and getting on the calls like we've been getting on these calls. And the next thing I know, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Between that and prayer, a lot of prayer. And I'm not just praying. I'm not just posting and praying, but I'm praying and asking God, bring them in and give me the ability to know who to, what to say and how to do it. And then he begins to make those connections happen. And then on top of that, being able to, like I said, to utilize what you have passed down, I feel like I've been able to do it better. I've learned a lot from y'all because I'm still learning in that area even more, but I've just been excited and really on fire for this. And then being able to share that with them. And then a lot of friends just came and said, oh my gosh, I'm getting these results. And then I'm seeing what's happening with you. And then they wanted to jump in. And I think it only took 1 or 2 of them. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody needs to do this. And that's what I've been feeling like too. I'm also talking to people's people. Even if you don't want to do the business, I always tell them this. Even if you don't want to do the business, you surely would be happy to get your products covered, right? Who's your 3 friends? And I know we've heard this on a call before. Who's your 3 friends that we can help you get them feeling amazing? And then you're also going to get your products covered. And so that's where a lot of these silvers are not all like business builders, but some of them are just like, yeah, that's awesome. I know this person, and this person. And then some of them ended up being like, that's all they wanted at first. And now they're, I'm in one of them's house. My dear friend Deborah. And she hit gold. She was just going to feel better. She wanted to help a few people, get her products covered. Here she is. She hit gold and she's going after it with me.
Yes, that's exactly right. And we've done bajillions of 3-way calls, bajillions. I mean, Angela could probably give you my 3-way call in her sleep. And do you hear her? She is telling people she's so confident in the business that she's like, well, even if you don't want the business, at least you want to do this. I mean, do you hear her passion? It's like, well, I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to do this. But at the very, your consolation prize is getting $420. So who are your 3 people? Okay. Now, Angela, you went silver and senior silver in March, gold in April, senior gold in May. Convention was in June. And by the end of May, you had, how many people did you bring to convention? Like 5, 6? 4. Okay.
4.
You had 4
it was
people.
going to be 5, but ended up being 4.
That's right. So you've got a look. So did you hear that? Like her 3rd month in, she got 4 people to convention. Okay. You've got a lot of your business builders, and you've got several business builders right now, are local. Tell me, are you doing anything locally? What are you doing locally for your team?
Yes, we've been doing all the local sip and sees, and it's been amazing. So we started with doing some Zooms, and we've done a lot of Zooms, and they've been very successful. But then when we started doing the sip and sees in person, oh my gosh, they've taken off. And we've been doing them even more since the convention. And they are powerful. Like, it builds the team culture. It is just amazing to get together, and like people show up and come and they just believe and they're so excited. So that has been huge for our team. Definitely do them if you are with other people and you can do a sip and see. I highly recommend it. That's probably the best thing.
Yeah, and they've done, I mean, Deirdre and Angela are an incredible power pair. I mean, Deirdre is so incredibly knowledgeable about the products. Her product belief is through the roof. So these two are like the dynamic duo, the Wonder Twins, for those of you that are my age that would remember that. There's probably like 3 of you on here that are my age that would know the Wonder Twins. And lots of Zooms. Now tell me, who are you inviting to these sip and sees? Is it just prospects or your level ones as well?
Oh, yes. We've invited a lot of level ones, and several of them have come and then decided to want to do more. We've also, of course, we definitely invite new people and we tell them to come, and it's just been awesome. And we actually just had one just this past weekend. And then today we went into a dentist office and shared with some dental hygienists.
I love that. So I hope you guys catch that. The sip and sees are not just for products. They're also events where you can invite your current product users. And what they have found is it's built their belief so much that then they want to go start sharing because they came to a sip and see. So please know that when you do an event, it is not just for prospects. Of course, you want new people there, but your happy product users, get them there too. I know Leah Groover's had great success with this too, getting your team there, and it builds their belief so that they want to start sharing about these products. That's fantastic. So tell me, we have a few minutes left. What is in terms of your business builders, what do you think, what are you saying to them to keep them motivated and moving forward?
I try to talk to them daily as much as possible and just encouraging them. One thing I know is plugging them into the culture, plugging them into the team calls, the support, and that's been gold. Obviously that includes you and Deirdre. That includes getting on these Monday Night Live calls. Any kind of plugging them into what we have, the resources, the team page, everything has been just amazing. We don't have to reinvent the wheel, but also just encouraging them and sharing with them and helping them in any way I can. There was a few that didn't even have Facebook, didn't even know how to do anything as far as like how to post and how to follow up and how do I message a person. And I've been able to help, share some of those things too. But yeah, it's been awesome. Just being able to plug them in, I think, is one of the biggest things. And then encouraging them daily.
I love that. I love that. You are a natural leader and you are wonderful in terms of your developing your skills of leadership with them in terms of communication and influence. Let's talk about, I want to go back to social media for a second because you are brilliant with social media. Talk to me about, you said something earlier about creating curiosity. Tell me about creating curiosity on social media.
Yes. So one of the ideas of that is, like I said, doing it like a lot of just putting my everything out there. I did that for a long time. Well, what I've learned over the last year or couple years really was curiosity draws people in. So not having to always put everything out there. Everybody knows don't just post your link. And I'm not saying you can't say Plexus or something like that, although I choose to not do it very much. Only because of the people that I have that follow me too from other businesses. I want to draw those people in more. It's strategic for me, and it actually has been working because people are constantly inboxing me wanting to know, what are you doing? And that is another thing, y'all. It's like drawing them in. If I just put everything out there, they go to Google, they can look it up themselves, they're going to know everything, they may not come to me. But if I'm drawing them in with branding myself, like we talked about, like putting out there life-changing testimonies and certain things that are happening. Also, it's not so salesy and so spammy, which is another thing that attracts more people. They like reading stories. They like knowing how your life is actually changing. But then when they're not sure, well, wait a minute, what all is it? Then they're going to be like, okay, you got to tell me. You got to tell me what this thing is. And so I've had a lot of that happen. And it, like I said, again, it brings a little more freedom too, to not feel like I'm just saying the same thing all the time. And I don't know, for me, it works. And I also feel better that way, being able to post things about my family and things about this. And then I'll post a testimony. And in my story, I do post a lot more. You want a lot of things in your story. There's algorithms that I've learned about, and that helps your post be seen more. There's going and loving on other people's posts. These are just little things that can help you get more influence, get more eyeballs on what you're doing. And between loving on people, really genuinely connecting with people, getting in their inbox, even just to ask them how they're doing, you know what I'm saying? And not being afraid to bring it up. And also, if they love on my video, I'll message them and say, thank you so much for getting on my video. What could you relate to? And a conversation starts. And so I'm sorry, that wasn't even part of what your question was, but that's just something that I feel like has really helped me. And I know that anybody can do this, but to me, that is work. And like, it just draws people in, and they're really after you more than your product anyway, y'all. They're more after what they're seeing, who you are and what you are sharing. And they're going to believe that, and they're going to want that. And of course, stories that you share and stuff like that too, but they're not just going to be wanting to buy something, right? They're buying into you first. So branding yourself first is so huge. And then that relationship.
That's I love that, Angela. And if you go to Angela's page, you'll see her brand. It's all about others, loving God and loving other people. And so she's constantly been adding value, and that's, you know, influence. Leadership is influence. And if you want to have influence and lead with people, then add value to people. Add value to people, and then you will gain influence. Okay, as you have, I believe 100%, Angela, you've stepped into the fullness of who God, you're stepping into, because I know God has more. He always has more. He is the God of more, of who you are. But as you've been dreaming again, as you are, you're tasting the goodness of what God is doing, and God is blessing you so much. And, your belief plus the action again. Okay, listen, Angela works hard. She's not just putting up a post. She is working hard. Her father came to visit, and she was scrubbing toilets and sending messages to people. So don't think that she's posting and praying and she's got so much influence that 20 people show up and then they just join without her working, because I know she works her tail off. But I'm saying all that to say, tell us what your dreams coming to fruition is going to mean for you and your family.
Oh, goodness. That was a tough one. It's going to mean a whole lot. I mean, goodness, to just do what God has called me to do, that's my biggest thing. And of course, like you said, wanting to see that implemented into others' lives as well. I mean, if we can, I'm not going to say if we can, when these dreams start to unfold and happen, because they already are happening. And when my husband can make those choices to not have to do the job that stresses him out all the time, it's going to be amazing, because we can have more time freedom to be able to do more for the kingdom of God. And that to me is just a burning passion in my heart. We have such a heart for the youth. We have such a heart to see revival in the youth in this area. And there's a lot of things in my husband's heart as well as us together. And we can just do all of that without even thinking about it. We could go over to other countries and give, and you know what I mean? I mean, there's the sky's the limit. So I guess that really, I need to think more about that, but I think there's so much excitement when that's going to happen. It's already beginning to happen though, because I feel like I'm already stepping into part of my calling more. I had recently, just to say this real quick, I was reminded of a word that was given over me a few years ago. And I feel like this is more than just for me. That's why I'm going to share it, because I think that a lot of us are called to this. But the Lord said over me, it was time for the body of Christ to get healthier. And there's a lot of people in the body of Christ that were sick, tired, and overweight, and just stuck and can't even do all that God has for them to do. And the word was that I was going to be used to be able to have something to do with health and wellness that was going to bring freedom in finances and in health. And the Lord reminded me of that recently. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's this, y'all. It's this. We have our hands on freedom. Freedom for finances, freedom for health, freedom to be able to be all that God has called us to do and to advance the kingdom. And so that is fueling me, and I'm super excited about that it's actually happening already.
That's right. And because she speaks like this to her team and on her wall, go watch her live today. If you want an example of what she's doing, go watch the live she did today. She has 6 solid business builders already, and they are tearing it up. So, and that is where it's at. Like Angela could recruit a lot, but why she is growing so quickly and exploding is because she is just as passionate, if not more so, about the opportunity and to see the dreams and other people come to fruition, to see lives change, because multiplication is always better than addition. It will get you there faster. And that is
Mhm.
how you gain financial freedom and see dreams come true. Angela, I'm so proud of you. I'm probably going to get off the call and just cry. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of your team. All team, you know who you are. Deirdre, so proud of you for loving Angela so well. And I cannot wait to see the ripple effects of this call. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Angela. You're a total rock
Thank
star.
you.
Good night, everybody.